Hello, this is NEWSPIRIT TV. I'm Alexis Constantino here at Tattershall Castle with my good friend, metaphysical tutor and life coach extraordinaire, DAPHNE Whitehouse. Hello, DAPHNE. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Alexis. Nice to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. Okay. So tell me, whereabouts in the world are you from?
Originally, I'm from a little place called Hollywood in County Wicklow, in Ireland.
I spent some of my early years in Wicklow. Lovely people.
Yeah, it is a nice place, but then I might be a bit biased.
So you're a Heal Your Life teacher, and I remember coming to your workshops some years ago. Could you tell me a little bit about the Heal Your Life work?
Well, the Heal Your Life work obviously is started off by Louise Hay, and it's based on the fact that we hold a lot of emotions in our body from the past which are blocking us and maybe creating illnesses or holding us back from our full potential. And when we do that work on ourselves, we clear that from our bodies and we start to become the people that we were meant to become.
Often people feel that there is aspects of life holding them back, and they seek out ways to heal that. What would you feel in your experience is the main stumbling blocks for people, and what holds people back?
Well, I think basically at the bottom of it all is people do not love themselves. We really need to learn to love ourselves, and a lot of us, including myself, have been brought up thinking that is not right to love yourself. However, it's the root cause of a lot of people's problems is because they do not love themselves.
I know in your work you employ a lot of different methods of healing, not just the Heal Your Life work, but you incorporate Bowen technique, you incorporate which other modes of healing?
I use NLP, Theta healing, Reiki, Bowen therapy, I think EMF, EFT as well.
What's EMF?
EMF is electric magnetic field balancing, and basically it is that apart from the aura we have 12 golden strands around the body, 3 in front, 3 at the back and 3 either side. We don't do anything with the side ones, but the ones in the front and the ones in the back ones get blockages in them because of all our past trauma. The front ones get blockages in them because of the front ones hold all our potential for the future, but they get blockages in them because of our fears and doubts about the future. So with EMF we go through and clear those out.
There's so many different ways to heal, but you mentioned not loving yourself as being the primary cause, and fear, I would imagine. I know we all deal with those feelings of self-doubt and not loving ourselves, and when we look in the mirror we don't see what we like, but you know, how do you help people overcome those types of fears?
Well, basically doing mirror work with them is very important, and it's surprising how many people, I think mirror work shows us when we have how hard we find to do mirror work, shows us how little we love ourselves. The easier we find it to do mirror work, it shows that we are more into loving ourselves. And initially people can find that very, very hard. I know for myself it took me about 3 to 5 months of being able to do it really easily.
Just for the people that don't know what mirror work is, could you just explain it?
Yeah, well, it's looking at yourself, looking into your own eyes in the mirror and saying, I love you, I really, really love you. And watching for what negative things may come up. And a lot of people, when they look in the mirror on a workshop, I've noticed the people looking in the mirror, they'll immediately start looking at spots on their face and looking at this, criticising themselves. they'll do anything to avoid looking into their own eyes. Because after all, looking into our own eyes is like looking into our soul. And if we can't look into our own eyes, whose eyes can we look into?
That's a good point, yeah. For me, it's been an ongoing process of learning to love myself, and it's a daily process. But I know that you've also dealt with issues that have been quite severe. I know you dealt with cancer. Is that all clear now?
Yes, I've been getting the all clear for the last... ever since I finished my treatment, I've been getting the all clear. I went down both roads. I had the radiotherapy and medication and that, but I also did alternative medication like homeopathic remedies. I did affirmations. I did theta healing to find beliefs that were there that were caused it. I had reflexology. I had vibrational medicines. So I went down both routes, and I believe that I was stuck somewhere, that I created that cancer. So I had to look at why I had got and created that cancer. And I went back and I found that for me it was belief that I created right in an early childhood, because I was brought up on a farm where no matter how ill you were, you had to get yourself out of bed to look after animals. So I created a belief that was, you must keep going. And that was what created my cancer, because I just kept going all the time. And even over the years, people had said to me, you look exhausted, and I would say, no, I'm fine. But when this happened to me and I started looking back, I realized I wasn't fine. I just thought I was, because of that belief I had that I must keep going.
So you traced a single belief as to the source of your cancer.
Yeah.
And was that a revelation to you when you found that out?
It definitely was, because I've been working on myself since 1990. It was now, when I was diagnosed, it was 2010, and this was a belief that I never touched on before.
I know we were talking off camera before about you feel that there is a reason that you got cancer, and that it was for you to be led into working with cancer patients. How has that experience been for you?
Well, I have people now coming to me that have cancer, so I haven't gone through it myself. It's I'm able to give them advice, whether they wanted to follow it or not, but I can tell them what I did to get over my cancer. And I believe it is very, very important for us to love ourselves through cancer.
And you've actually written a book, or in the process of writing a book. What's it called?
I'm in the process of writing a book, which is Healing Your Inner Child, but after that I intend to write one, Loving Yourself Through Cancer.
Loving Yourself Through Cancer. Great title. And what was the other title of the book?
The other title was Healing Your Inner Child.
Healing Your Inner Child. Amazing. You can find Daphne's work at
DAPHNEWhitehouse.com.
DAPHNEWhitehouse.com. You're a very inspirational person, and I'm very glad to talk to you today, and it's always amazing whenever I see you. Are you focused on your own healing as well now, and balancing that with healing others?
Definitely, because I think that's where one of the problems behind the cancer as well was that I was so busy running workshops and groups and meditation classes and showing films and that I wasn't allowing myself to work on myself. I wasn't allowing the time for me to work on myself. So I've had to get back into that. And the only thing that would have pulled me up on that was cancer.
I think it's very common with a lot of people that are healers that they focus very much on other people without taking care of their own needs, So what have you learnt from that experience, other than the obvious taking care of yourself? What's been your lesson?
Well, it is to be very aware of working on myself, and when things come up at workshops where in the past something has come up for me when I'm running a workshop and I've sort of said, right, I can't deal with that now because I need my energy to be here for these people at this workshop. I'll look at it later, but I've sort of then got on with other things and it's got pushed to the side. So now I need to be very, very aware of that.
So listening to your inner voice more.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Right. We've all got that inner voice that we don't listen to often, and we know in hindsight that's when we need to have listened to it. So how does one get to that place? What would you suggest?
Well, it's quieten your mind, really, because most of us, and allow yourself some time each day to be just in stillness, to meditate, or if you don't want to do meditation, just to be quiet, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, because we're so busy running here, there and everywhere, and our minds are going chit-chat, chit-chat, chit-chat. You know, when we're getting messages from our inner voice, we're not taking notice of them because our mind is just so busy.
So quietening the chatter of the inner mind.
Yes, definitely.
And having some stillness and some reflection time.
Yeah, and even, you know, if you're on a bus or a train, it's just, rather than being watching everything's going on around you and listening to everything, it's just sort of quieten yourself, take a deep breath, go inside and just see how you're feeling and see if there's any message comes to you.
Daphne, sometimes people are scared of teaching because they feel that they're not good enough. Did you ever face those fears?
Yes, and I think I've had a lot of people say to me, you know, how can you go out there and teach that when you still have stuff to deal with yourself? I say, but what I'm out there teaching is stuff that I have learned as I have dealt with my own issues, and we'll always have work to do on ourselves right up until the day we pass away. And if we were to wait until we were perfect, then no one would teach anything.
That makes a lot of sense. Daphne, as a closing message, what would you like to say to anyone that's watching?
Well, I would like to say to people that it's very, very important to deal with their emotions and to learn to love themselves.
So listen to your emotions. Thank you, Daphne. It's been a real pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you very much to my guest Daphne today. You can find out more about Daphne's work at DAPHNEWHITEHOUSE.com. Thank you to Tash Castle for providing the facilities for us to film here today on London's South Bank. And also thank you to Brian Wood, and you can find out more about Brian Wood at brianwoodphotographer.com. See you next time on NewSpirit TV.